Hello and welcome to week 2 of the Wall of Stitches, and this is the video for our fourth piece of the blanket, the uneven berry stitch. The uneven berry is a really pretty stitch. I do like the berry stitches, but they make these really little tiny bumps on the front that are quite close together. It's a lovely stitch to make, but it is single crochet based and it does take a little bit of time for it to grow, but well worth the effort. So to start this piece, you're going to need a foundation chain of 31. Okay, so to start the uneven berry stitch, we're going to be working single crochet in the third chain from our hook. Now my turning chain is going to count as my first stitch, so I marked the first chain from my hook, so I know that's the first stitch. And then after that, single crochet in the third chain from your hook, make a single crochet in every stitch across. So row 1 of the uneven berry is just single crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so nice and simple, single crochet for row 1. Then you're going to turn and chain 1. So we're going to start uneven berries. So in the first chain from your hook, you're going to make a slip stitch. Now try and keep your slip stitches fairly loose because we will be working into them in the next row. So we don't want them too difficult to get into. And in the next stitch, we're going to make a berry. So to make a berry stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, so you've got 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop only, so you still have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, still working in that same stitch, insert your hook, and pull up a loop. Okay, so now you've got 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. And that is your berry stitch. Then into the next stitch, you're going to make a slip stitch. Again, try not to make this too tight as you're going to be working into it in the next row. So on this side, your berry looks pretty flat, but if you turn it over, there's the bump. So all the texture will be on the opposite side. So after your slip stitch, in the next stitch, we'll make another berry. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1 loop only, so you still have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back into the same stitch that you were working into, yarn over, pull up a loop, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. Then slip stitch into the next stitch. And this is the repeat across the row. Berry, slip stitch, berry, slip stitch. Okay, so we're just going to keep on doing that all the way across the row. I've got a strand of yarn not wanting to go through. There we go. Slip stitch into the next stitch. And then make a berry again. And slip stitch into the next stitch. And then when we have 1 stitch left, we're going to slip stitch into that final stitch as well, which is the turning chain from the row below. And just slip stitch into that. Both chains, please. There we go. And slip stitch. Oh. There we go. Got there eventually. So that is row 2. And if I turn, you'll see the berries all popping up there. So turn and chain 1. So row 3, we're going to make a single crochet in the first stitch, then mark that with a stitch marker. So essentially what we're going to do in this row is we're going to make a single crochet into every slip stitch. So the first 2 stitches of row 3 will both be first 2 stitches of row 3 will both be single crochets made into the 2 slip stitches. Then the next stitch goes into the top of the berry, and that's a slip stitch. So single crochet in the slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the top of the berry. Okay, so first 2 stitches of the row are single crochet, both of those were slip stitches that you worked into. Top of the berry is the next stitch, that's a slip stitch. Then single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, all the way across the row. So you should be finishing the row with a single crochet in that last stitch. And that's row 3. So now we're going to turn and chain 1. Now you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch, but we now need to make our berries offset against the ones we made in row 2. And so we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch as well, because we want our berries to look staggered. Into the next stitch, make a berry. So all of these slip stitches you have to work into again, so it's always a good idea to make sure you keep them loose, which can be not the easiest thing to do with slip stitches, but keeping a loose tension is very, very handy with these. And then after that, we repeat the pattern from the row below. So after every berry, you do a slip stitch and carry that on across the row. So when we get to the end, we're going to make slip stitch in the final stitch. Just turn over. You can see our berries are now sitting between the ones that we made in row 2. So, and that's how it looks uneven. They get staggered across. Okay, so row 5, turn and chain 1, and make a single crochet in the first stitch. So as we did before in row 3, you're going to make a single crochet into the top of every slip stitch and a slip stitch into the top of every berry. So single crochet in the first stitch. The next stitch is a berry, so we single crochet on top of that. Then single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet. Hang on a second. It's very easy to kind of lose track. It's easy to crochet and talk at the same time. So single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, all the way across. Then when it's the last 2 stitches, you're going to single crochet in both of them. to finish the row. And that's row 5. So to complete your uneven berry piece, you're going to be repeating rows 2 to 5 until you have 14 rows in total. Once you finish row 14, you can cut off and weave in your ends, and then it's time to add your border. So for this one, you'll be making a single crochet in each stitch across the top and bottom, and then you'll make a single crochet into the side of every row. So you'll have 14 stitches down the side and 30 stitches across the top and bottom. And then, of course, you have your extra stitch in the corners for the turn. So that's round 1 of your border, and then go ahead and add the other 2 rounds after that as well. If you need a reminder on how to add the borders, you need to click the link on the screen or go to the link in the description of the video. And then once you've finished your border, cut off and weave in your ends, and then it's time to add this to your previous piece, the raspberry piece, joining them together with the flat braid stitch. Once you've done that, that's your first row complete. So this is our first strip. You can put this strip to one side for now, as we'll be making our next strip in its entirety before they are joined together. But that's for next week. So don't forget, if you have any questions or just want to join in the chat and meet your fellow crocheters, please do come to our Facebook group, Froggity Frogs Ribbit and Stitch. Everyone is there. Any question you need to ask away. Okay, no question is a silly question. We're all learning these stitches as we go along. So if you need any help, please do ask. But please do come and show us your pieces as well, because I would love to see how you're getting along and what colours you've chosen for your wall of stitches. So thank you for joining in, and I shall see you next week for week 3. And enjoy, and bye for now.